What a time to be alive. Okay? Everything that we have been speaking on, we have the opportunity to bear witness to at this particular time. The biggest conspiracy of all is there is no conspiracy. The universe conspires for your success every day, though. So, is there a conspiracy? Okay? You know, these are the paradoxes that we live with. Not only did the scientific community say that they wanted to release the information dealing with the gravitational waves in the same week that Kanye was supposedly releasing his album titled Waves, they were going to do it on the same day, which would have been Thursday, February 11th. Coincidence? I think not. Is Kanye West Illuminati? Not necessarily. In regards to how the people have defined what these particular societies or these thought people or these thought formers, because everything right now is about form, okay, and form denotes function. So what are we looking at this particular time? We're looking at form. How do we identify form in this particular realm? By carbon, okay? Carbon, okay? The particular thing that denotes or makes up form, all right? Carbon-based materials and things of that nature. When you look at a carbon, you're looking at a cube. When you're looking at a cube, a cube has what has been described as 6 sides, but it has 8 points. If you just take two squares and put them together with dots and lines, then you'll have a cube. So you have your two squares, you have your 44, you have your 8 points. All right. We know that carbon is the animating force on all things that are living. All right. Carbon is identified as black. Okay. So you have this black essence or this black cube or this black box. All right. That derives all things that are living, all of that energy is coming from them. You look at a planet like Saturn, okay, and you look at the poles of Saturn, and you're going to find a cube. You're going to find a six-pointed star, okay, on the very top of Saturn. Saturn is symbolized as a black cube. Yeah. So we oftentimes say that these people are stars, you know what I'm saying? There's ideologies that promote that we are God itself or himself or herself, but what if we, you know what I'm saying, if we can go that far and with our imagination, why can't we not understand that some of these people might represent constellations or bodies of cosmic forces or what have you? So our time and space was governed or, pretty much controlled by our guiding star, right? The fifth, that North Star, Polaris. Okay, Polaris is represented by the little bear. That's to me who Kanye West represented. Then we experienced the precession of the equinox. So we went from one celestial body governing this particular time, space, frequency, and dimension to another body, all right? And we went from Polaris to Draco, okay? And what are the attributes of Draco? Draco is, of course, a serpent energy. It's northern. It's the northernmost. And when we look at the precession of the equinox or the precession of how the baton has been passed in hip-hop, to me, which is a divination system within itself, okay? This is a place where men come to become God, and you can do that overnight. You know what I'm saying? Damn near overnight. So we had an entire lecture Kabbalistically where we laid all of this out and we explained, right, according to our purview, how these things are happening and how they're possible and what it denotes and why these things are what they are. So, peace, God. Peace. So that's pretty much how we've been able to identify, and keep our finger on the pulse of what it is that we're seeing. So even with this aspect of the precession of the equinox, we physically saw in hip hop that Kanye West, who was considered at some point the god, all right, of his particular realm, he kind of outshined Jigga for a minute. Jigga's sitting down, you know what I mean? And he defeated 50 Cent when they had their Twin Towers showdown on September 11th. I forgot what year this was, probably 2007 or 2008. They had a showdown with the albums, and Ye beat 50, and that ushered in an entire paradigm of the next level of MCs that would come. So gangster rap was dead at that point. He didn't only beat 50, he kind of aced out or edged out gangster rap, you know what I'm saying? And he made the backpack, emo, you know what I'm saying, hip hop a little bit more popularized. So you just saw a whole rash of those artists that came out of that branch. One of those artists in particular was Drake. So Drake represents the Draco energy, all right, of this procession of the equinox. Kanye West publicly enacted this ritual on stage, right in front of his pyramid or his mountain, when he said, what? I am passing the reins to the new god in rap. And then you had Drake come out and pronounce himself as the sixth god, and that's what we've been dealing with thus far. You know what I'm saying? And now you're seeing this back and forth friction between them two, where they can't seem to reconcile that particular procession. So, Kanye takes little jabs at Drake, and then Drake come back and take jabs at Ye subliminally or what have you, but we can identify the friction. We recently saw the fracas that Drake got into with Meek Mills and everything, and we saw how that played out. All of these things are cosmic. We saw Meek Mill releasing his project 4-4 during the Martin Luther King weekend holiday. Who's another 4-4 Dreamcaster? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, all of these things have a level of connectivity. So when I see them coming and doing something cosmic, dealing with a theme that he had already identified and a wave that he was already started and he was already on, how they seem to tie this energy up with him. If I'm looking at him as a cosmic being, if I'm looking at him as representative of something that is a lot more larger and vast than we care to identify with, then it's not mysterious to me why they would do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I guess we could probably, float the next question, because you asked a lot of questions in that one, but I'll get to them momentarily.
People that are into the sciences, you see on the internet, they reference celebrities a lot, and they tie in with certain, like how you said, Kanye's represents Ursa Minor, things of that nature. When people think of the universe and universal energy, God, Allah, whatever you want to call this force, they think about what the Comedics would call Mayat, the system of Mayat. So people are thrown off when you're using references for this great cosmic energy with somebody like Beyonce or Jay. They like, man, they pieces of shit. Why the universe working so much magic through them? I'm a good nigga. Why they using them? So people are a little thrown off that they're thinking the universe is this moral place, but yet this moral universe is using what people call Illuminati puppets, or when you mention Drake, what he represents, Drake in the strip club all the time, making it rain. So they don't want to hear something spiritual and metaphysical from somebody who's throwing bills at a stripper ass and who's saying he spent 50,000 in the club making it rain. So it confuses people a little. So tie this whole energy in with why do they use people that don't seem to, who people don't look at as being like moral role models.
Right. I mean, the people are very confused. So this is not the first or only thing that confuses the people. The people have no idea what it is that they're looking at, because they've been given puritanical shades by way of the religion that has them believing that, the only thing that they can identify as worthwhile to be encompassing of quote unquote God's energy is something that's pure. But I asked him many times, so where does the devil derive his powers and his marching orders from? And how is he able to infuse all of his soldiers to be more powerful than what you would consider to be quote unquote God soldiers? Because they're getting some wins out here, if you haven't noticed. If that's the game that you're playing, if you want to look at it like that, just be real with yourself. How does he animate them with their orders to be so cunning and culling and all of these things where they're outdoing you every chance they get? You feel me? So the universe is going to work with those people, right, who are fulcrums for energy and who have access to multitudes of people, you know, and they can translate whatever this information is on a grander scale to get this thing moving. And then, of course, you know, the universe is going to work with other people. The universe is working with everyone at all times. The universe conspires for our success every single day, irregardless of who you are. Other people are in just different positions to make different and better use